Hi, I'm Beck. I'm a psychologist, and today I'm talking about escapism as a form of symptom of relational trauma. Now, so often having a fantasy world to escape into, or perhaps fantasy relationships, or projecting qualities onto people that you don't know actually possess those qualities or not, is a tactic for a faux intimacy, because you've learned that true intimacy is not safe. And true intimacy requires a level of authenticity and a level of groundedness that perhaps hasn't been modeled to you, perhaps hasn't been safe in the past. So therefore you create a false sort of intimacy based on projections, based on fantasy, based on escapism. Now, it's just enough to note this tendency in yourself for the pattern to start to unravel and to release. Now, when I say magic is in the present moment, I'm talking about the sort of magic that involves self-awareness. To me, ultimate self-awareness is magic. To me, to know thyself so intimately and as such an observer, that to me is magic, because I understand that having a complete command over your psyche and having reclaimed all aspects of yourself, so no thought is unconscious, no thought is a pre-programmed, that me having programmed, or my soul having programmed my psyche, to me is magic. I'm not necessarily talking about other dimensional experiences, and so often those dimensional experiences would only really matter or come into play when you have collected all the aspects of yourself here in reality. That yes, while that might hold intrigue to you, it's not of huge importance. What is of huge importance is the reclamation of your own psyche, is the accountability and the personal responsibility that you need to take to collect all your pieces that have been fragmented from you through your lived experiences in this lifetime. Now, if you're interested in past life regression and all those other sort of methods, that's fine, but you can actually access all your parts via the method of the present moment, which I have explained in other videos, by watching those thoughts and reclaiming them, reprogramming them in the present moment. So back to escapism as an idea that perhaps you need to go somewhere else to heal, or look to someone else, look to a version of somebody else, or even a version of yourself, a different version of yourself. While that might be helpful to have perhaps a higher self, I do believe that is helpful to have a vision of where you're going. You need to be sure that you are putting in the everyday actions, you're grounding in the actions that are commensurate with the vision that you have of yourself. It's not just this fantasy projection that you do nothing actively to move towards. And what you'll find are the actions that higher self or that other version of you want you to take aren't necessarily very comfortable. A lot of them will be putting yourself in positions where you are establishing healing bonds with other people and healing that relational trauma. It's lovely to have relationship with nature. It's lovely to have relationships with animals and with interdimensional or other dimensional or whatever. I don't know, spirit animals. I don't know. That's all fine. But so often it's an escape from the everyday bonds and the everyday human interactions that we in a society have and are designed to have. Yes, they are meant to be a lot safer than they currently are in our society. That they historically would feel safer than perhaps they do, and perhaps you've got a wish or a memory or a desire that everybody's more insert whatever value that you think that everybody else should have. That's all fine. But really, what you're being called to do is ground yourself so strongly in your own power that you can show up to a safe relationship, to a not safe relationship, to a situation where everybody holds the same values as you, to a situation where nobody holds the same values as you. And it doesn't matter, because you are so safe in yourself and you have such a command of your own presence and your own thought processes that you can walk into that and just flat out refuse to be wobbled or made to feel anything other than whatever flows through you in the moment. There is a level of groundedness and being steeped in the present moment that command requires. And it is not born from escapism. It is not born from fantasy. It is born from a full immersion in yourself to be able to show up to a situation with no fragmented parts wishing or fantasizing or imagining what the other person should be or what you should be in that moment. So I hope just by drawing your attention to the connection often between that escapism and those wishes and those desires and the relational trauma that we all have at this point in society, born from just the way society's designed, that we can start to loosen the hold and the fear we have of true intimacy. So we can start to show up authentically, regardless of perhaps somebody's thoughts about how that might be. That will be okay for you, no matter how they receive you.